Being the senile old man that I am, I just read the poem, and I didn't have the camera or the microphone running. It was not recorded because I didn't push the record button. Well, what do you expect from an 81-year-old goat out here in Idaho? Out here in the land of ice and snow. And nothing to do on a Sunday morning but to read you one of my old poems. This one is a true story. I mean, the story is true. The poem I wrote. It's Avery was a sergeant in my platoon in Korea. We were very good friends then, and we're very good friends now, have been all these years. He's about 85 or 86 years old now, up in Ancramdale, New York. Talked to him the other day, said he's still fit and fiddle, and so is his wife Irene. They did lose one son, but he was in his 30s when he died. But they do have two daughters, and these daughters have left him grandchildren. I don't know if he has any great-grandchildren yet. Maybe he does. I have 18, so he might have some too. Anyway, this poem is a true story, and took place in the H'wachon Valley in Korea, the land of the morning sun, Chosun. It's called Machine Gun Sergeant. I wrote it on Saturday, April 2nd, 1999. Below the H'wachon Reservoir, we walked along the river. Then across the fields, Dieter said, "This is where the Air Force caught the Chinese with their carts and horses. That's the hill where the machine gun sergeant climbed to help his men. He was supposed to go home that day, not a war to win. He said, 'I don't have to fight,' machine gun sergeant said. 'I can stay back here and watch. But my men are scared, and their sergeant is new. I'll lead them one more time.' Dieter lowered his head, and then he said, 'The fire was very heavy, Jones. They took the hill that bloody day, but the sergeant never made it.' We found a house still intact. We were very much surprised. An octagon with a center patio where a family once cooked their meals. This must have been a happy place before the armies came. Little children at mother's knee, an abundant life they had. Dieter said, 'He has 2 kids.' I said, 'I thought him dead.' I looked at Probe, his familiar name. I said, 'Please tell me more.' I saw a tear run down his cheek. It wasn't there before. The sky was clear, a glorious day, and we walked the fields some more. We found a can from Russia, and Kowalski read the label. I know the town where this was made. I know who made this ammo. I looked at Probe, he looked at me, and this is what he said. The machine gun sergeant was hit in the groin. I heard the machine gun sergeant say, 'I'd rather be dead.' No workers toiled in the beautiful fields. The war had done its dirt. I wondered where the families were. Were they dead or hurt? Tomorrow, we go back on the line to Heartbreak Ridge, they say. I looked at Probe, and this I said, 'At least we've got today.' The sergeant didn't have to fight. He'd done his job well, but he climbed the hill and got marred for life. How could he think so ill? When it's time to go, it's time to go. To play with fate is hard." "He's the bravest man I know," said Probe. "He did it to be right." I said, "What about his wife and kids?" What about their plight? He had no choice, said Probe. He had to fight. We walked along the dusty road that led us back to camp. I thought how brave he was. I think of him a lot. That's the end of the poem. Kowalski was in the German youth movement. When he first went to Korea, he wanted to get right into combat, so the guys sent him over to the helicopters where they were bringing in the wounded off the line. He took one look at the wounded and says, "I'm in no hurry to get on the line." But he was shot at during World War II while playing with a kid on the river raft, on a raft, and he was in the German youth movement, so he was a gung-ho, very good soldier, by the way. He was a gunner in the mortar platoon. He was a very good gunner, and a fine young man. And I hope he's still alive somewhere. I don't know if I could ever find him. But Dieter and I are still kicking. Thanks for watching.